Hi everyone, welcome to the New Year's Eve stream. Welcome. Hope you're doing awesome. We're here for some karaoke tonight. Everything seems to be up and running now. Had a few bugs getting started, but we're all good. So, nothing a good old restart didn't fix. But yeah, welcome Michigan. Welcome to the stream. Welcome. I believe we have Parker first up for karaoke tonight. So we'll see how that goes. I'm sure he will sound amazing and wonderful. We have the Lady Rain organizing everybody tonight. So that'll be great. But I'm excited if you guys are. I'm ready to go. Let's do this. Parker is first, followed by you, Michigan, Shane, and Crowley Safari. Sounds awesome. Thank you so much, Lady Rain. Thank you. Got my hat on. But I hope you guys are doing good. So I'm ready. I think we're ready. As long as Parker's ready to I will pull him into chat and he can share his screen. So let's go get Parker. Hold on. Do that. And hi, Parker. Are you going to be ready to share your screen and do the things and stuff? Welcome. You have the role. You should be able to talk. Oh, he stepped away for a second? Okay. Oops. Then we'll put him back down then until he is ready. Whoopsies. Oh, that's a thing. Thank you for the sub. Thank you. Thank you. Much appreciated, Crowley. Watch out, Pieman's gonna get you. 21 months. That's a long time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Hello. Hope you're doing awesome. Hope you're having a good New Year's. We're doing karaoke tonight. Do you want to sing tonight? If you do, get with Lady Rain in Discord. Just let me know. You're totally able to sing. So, if Parker stepped away, do we want to do the next person or do we want to just give him 2 more seconds? We can totally give him 2 more seconds. No, you don't want to sing? You're special. Still in company and lurkies, so no audio for now. Okay. Momo. But thank you for the lurky. I know she can't hear me, but thank you for the lurky. I wish she was here to sing with us. Not doing good. Don't want to sing tonight, but thank you. Aw, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope things get better for you. Look at that face. Yes, Momo's here. I think Happy New Year from the Netherlands, lovelies. Thank you. Happy New Year to you too. Happy New Year to you too. I gotta go do one thing real quick while we wait. One thing. I think an ad's fixed to start anyway. I had to go yell at Alexa. Hi, Parker. Welcome.
Hi. At least it's better than getting the no chicken fries at Burger King.
welcome, and almost Happy New Year. But are you ready to sing? Are you ready to share your video?
Yeah, I actually was supposed to have it up, but oh boy, let me do something quick. Okay. Oh boy, thought I'll share my screen. Reap. Here we go.
Let me watch it. Make sure your
Try
volume's
eat
up
this
and all that
one
good
bite of
stuff.
pudding cake.
Oh no. Pudding cake sounds yummy.
Something.
Welcome to Lurk. So have a wonderful stream, Mano. Thank you, Hollow. Doesn't look like it's sharing. Oh, there it goes, finally.
Just making sure nothing borked.
Yeah, and you could probably make it full screen, that way we don't see anything at all.
Yeah, I agree.
Adjust the volume right here. Let's flip.
Ah! Theater screen. Okay,
This,
you're good now?
I believe so. Hit play real quick. The test
Press
play.
the play button.
Yeah, the sound real quick, yeah. See if I can hear it. I don't hear anything. Oh, there it goes. I hear it. It's good. Okay.
Now may I start?
Yes, you may begin. Go for it.
When you were here before, could look you in the eye. You're just like an angel. Your skin makes me cry. You float like a feather in a beautiful world. I wish I was better. You're so fucking special. I'm a queen. I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't care if it hurts. I want to have control. I want to have control. I want you to notice when I'm not around. I wish I was special. But I'm a weirdo. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. Oh, oh, shit. You run, 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 run. Whatever you want. You're fucking special. Where I was special. And I'm a queen. I will win. What the hell am I doing here? I don't belong here. I don't belong here. Well, that was bad, but okay.
Oh, it was not bad. You did
Bad.
fine. It was not bad. You did fine. Do you remember to turn off noise cancellation in Discord though for your next song so that we can hear you a little better and keep your mouth near the mic? It sounded like you were like moving the mic around the room or something. So
yeah,
I don't know if you.
My mic is like 3 foot long, so.
Yeah. So, but yeah, thank you so much. Appreciate it. Thank you so much for sharing your song. I appreciate it. We'll go to the next person, and then, which I think is me, like Rain said. So then we'll go from there. But thank you. Appreciate it. And then me. I gotta figure out all my buttons here. So, but welcome to the stream, Logan Lee. Welcome. Hello, 2024. Yes, here on the East Coast, almost 2024. We got a few more hours, 2.5 hours. So we're really ready for it, but or trying to be ready for it. We're doing some karaoke tonight in the meantime. So welcome everyone. Thank you for the hugs, Michigan. Thank you. It's 2:30 a.m. for you. Nice. Sweet. Look at you. Oh, I gotta pull up my song. Let me do this real quick. Mute myself in there, and then pull up my song, and move it over. Oh, jeez. Okay, I'm not ready. It's gonna sound like a train wreck. I'm not ready. Just love me. Just go with it. So I appreciate you all. But yeah, here we go with my turn to be a train wreck. Do you ever feel like a plastic bag drifting through the wind, wanting to start again? Do you ever feel so perfect, like a horse with cards? No, I'm so cards. Oh my gosh. Do you ever feel already very deep? 16 under screens, but no one's used to hear your thing. Do you know there's still a chance for you? 'Cause there is a spot in you. Just gotta look light, the light, and let it shine. Just on the night, like the 4th of July. 'Cause baby, you're fine, I'm not sure what you're like. Baby, you're as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're fire. Come on, let their colors burst. Baby, you're you don't have to feel like a wasted piece. Your original cannot be replaced. If you only knew what the future holds. After a hurricane comes a rainbow. Maybe a reason why all the doors were closed, so you could open one that leads you to a perfect road. Like a lightning bolt, your heart will flow. And when it's time for you, you'll just gotta know. Ignite the light and let it shine. Just on the night, like the 4th of July. Spending your firebird. Come on, show 'em what you're worth. Let them go up, as you shoot across the sky. Baby, you're a firebird. show 'em what you want. Make 'em go up, 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 as you shoot across the sky. In your firework, come on, let 'em colors burn. Make 'em go up, 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 gotta leave them in your boom, 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 even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Boom, 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 even brighter than the moon, moon, moon. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
What's going
Alright, so yeah, that was my attempt to do this. Thank you guys for putting up with my cat on a hot tin roof sounds. Welcome everyone, welcome Shade, welcome Crowley. I'm sure we'll hear some amazing voices tonight and I can't wait and I hope you're excited. Let me close this real quick because that one's done. And then we'll wait for Lady Rain to say who is next, and she should be able to pull them right in. Hi, Shane, welcome. Oh, I gotta unmute myself on his side though, so you can hear me. Oh, hi, Shane, welcome. Are you ready to do this? I'm sure you will sound amazing, wonderful, all the above, and we all look forward to your singing. You always do a really good job.
Well, thank you.
And then I have your volume all the way up, but we gotta make sure you're close enough to the...
Testing, 1, 2, 3.
That's much better. Much better. Yes. Yes. Hi, Devron! Welcome, welcome, welcome. But yeah, let me grab your screen, and then we'll make sure you've got it full screened where you want it, and I'll make sure the volume's on for that.
Right, it's full screen on my end.
Okay, there we go. And then, all right, and then we got you, and let me switch over to the other screen. Go for it.
I set out on a narrow way many years ago, hoping I would find true love along the broken road. But I got lost a time or two, wiped my brow and kept pushing through. I couldn't see how every sign pointed straight to you. Every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who broke my heart, they were like northern stars, pointing me on my way into your loving arms. This much I know is true, that God bless the broken road that led me astray to you. Yes, he did. I think about the years I spent just passing through. I'd like to have the time I lost and give it back to you. But you just smile and take my hand. You've been there, you understand. It's all part of a grander plan that is coming true. Every long lost dream led me to where you are. Others who this much I know is true. That God bless the broken road and led me astray to you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And now I'm just rolling home into my lover's arms. This much I know is true. That God bless the broken road that led me astray to you. That God bless the broken road that led me straight to you.
So good, Shane. You did awesome. Thank you so much for sharing with us. Love your voice.
Thank you, thank you.
Keep at it. Keep being you. Let's see who we got next up. But yes, I hope you're having a good New Year. Hi, Michigan. Welcome.
Yeah.
Welcome. I can't wait. You're gonna sing for me. Oh, sweet. You're gonna be on camera too. Sweet.
Yeah, that's what I did.
Sweet. All right. So on
Ooh, I don't
camera,
wanna-
and then you're gonna share. a
I know.
song.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. I almost shared your screen for a second. I was like, well, that's not how I do it.
But yeah, no, you don't have to share. Yeah, my screen would be weird. But no, I wait until you're up and ready before I share.
Yeah.
live. I wait until you get it all set
I
up.
think I did this last year. Like,
Mhm.
what am I doing? There
Just
it
share
is.
like you do any other day in Discord.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
watch live, and the biggest thing is just expand it. There you go, perfect. Let me make sure I have volume on that for you.
I'll
Looks like
play a
it.
little bit. Yep.
Okay,
Is that
sounds
good?
Sounds good. Mm-hmm.
Right here is
Yep.
good level.
Yep. Because I can turn it up on my side too. So.
All right, yeah, I'm
All
ready.
right,
Let's do
you ready to roll? All right, let's turn it over to
it.
you.
I'm rolling.
All right, guys, here's Michigan. Let's go, man.
All right.
Kitty.
Let's go. Shoot. When we're winning, we'll be singing. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down. Hold on, guys, hold on. I get knocked down. Pissing the night away, guys. He drinks the whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink. If he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. He drinks songs that remind me of the better, not good times, the better times. Oh, Danny boy. Oh, Danny boy. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You know. Pissing the night away, guys. He drinks a whiskey drink, he drinks a vodka drink, he drinks a lager drink, he drinks a cider drink. Good times, he sings the songs that remind him of the better times. Don't cry for a little bit. but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. You're never gonna keep me down. I get knocked down, but I get up again. I'm going to sing this 1,000 times, but if you get knocked down again, you better get up. Hey guys, if you get knocked down though, you have to get back up. Down, but I get up again. You're never gonna sing this song again. I get knocked down. Never gonna sing this ever. Anyways, guys, good song.
It's a very good song. I'm very proud of you. Looks like it can be sung in duos with the blue and the pink.
I know, yeah, it kind of looks like that.
Like
And the
you
thing
have two
is,
people sing 2 parts. Or 3
I don't,
parts.
like-
No, 2 parts.
I was just out. I was literally out dry right there. I was just out dry.
You're like, I'm done. I'm clocking out. But no, you
Yeah,
did
I'm clocking out.
excellent. Thank you so much.
Nah,
Thank you.
that was-
Thank you.
Alright, well, I'm gonna go
sounded
hang out
great.
with everybody else and cry, so I'll be back.
No, don't cry. You did so much better than I did. I'm proud of you. But yes.
I got
What?
yeeted.
Oh, she hated you. I wasn't ready. She was ready. She's like, it's too alive. Like this. It's your turn.
Hello. Hi.
Hi. Welcome, welcome, welcome. As you know, I'm sure you know the routine by now. You share your screen. Make sure you see what you want us to see, and that won't push the go over button until you're ready. And
1 second. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. Okay.
let me get this
Wait,
up and
turn
ready.
this a tiny bit.
Down here, make sure your volume's good on both you and the imaging. So I think we got it. All right, I'm gonna switch over.
Okay.
You got the floor.
Cool. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things, what you're doing, and in my head I paint a picture. 'Cause since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. 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 Did you have to go to jail? Put your house up for sale? Did you get a good lawyer? I hope you didn't catch a tan. I hope you found the right man who's gonna fix it for you. Are you shopping anywhere? Change the color of your hair? Are you busy? And did you have to pay that fine that you're doing all the time? Are you still busy? 'Cause since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Oh, won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. 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 Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I think of all the things, what you're doing. And in my head, I paint a picture. 'Cause since I've come home, well, my body's been a mess. And I've missed your ginger hair and the way you like to dress. Won't you come on over? Stop making a fool out of me. Why don't you come on over, Valerie? Valerie. 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 Why don't you come on over, Valerie? That was
You
it.
sounded amazing. Thank you so much for sharing. You're so good. I hope you're doing another song tonight.
I have one more that I was thinking about doing. Yeah.
Sweet. So I can't wait to hear you on the list again.
Thank
So
you.
thank you. Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye. Alright, guys. We got it's Goose, aka Dreams. Welcome to you made my day. I'm so glad to see you on here. I'm ready for this. I'm ready to hear you
So-
sing.
I never sing.
You do, and you sound good. Please don't. Yeah, you can do it. I believe in you.
I really don't like singing. And also, like, I have a reverb in my head, so I can hear me
Oh, weird. Maybe you're watching my
and
stream.
hear it on your stream, and I don't know how to get rid of that. Yeah, I'm
Uh,
watching your
web
stream. Should I just mute
browser.
that?
Yeah, just mute the web browser.
But then if I mute that, then I can't hear you. Oh wait, hold on.
Oh.
Oh, okay, yeah,
no.
it's much better. Yeah, it's my headphones thing.
Yeah,
Okay,
you
cool.
gotta mute the stream thing.
Awesome.
Okay. But yeah, I definitely won't be talking while you're singing, so
Okay,
that's all
okay,
you.
that's cool. Well, yeah, that's cool. As long as I've got some kind of voice that's not me
Yeah.
coming through the phone. So we're gonna
You
do a
just
wee
have to share your screen. Mhm.
stream. Okay. So this is gonna be really weird for me. Promise you. So if I mess this up, apologies, but we'll get there. Can you see what I'm seeing?
I can see it, and go ahead and make it full screen for me. That way I don't see everything
Gotcha.
else. And
Does?
then I'm gonna switch it over to you. Make sure you got your volume on.
I think so. I hope I got my volume on.
Okay.
Let's do a wee. We'll do a wee check first.
Okay.
Yeah, I can
Yep.
hear that. Can you hear it?
Yep. You
Okay,
sound good.
perfect. Okay,
All right.
perfect. So
You're up.
let's
All you.
stretch the octaves.
Stretch.
See how we
Breathe.
go. Okay.
Don't forget to breathe so you don't pass out.
Not like loads of people are watching or anything, but we'll try. Anyway, okay.
Let's go.
So. Coming out of my cage and I'll be doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. Started out with a kiss, how did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while he's having a smoke and she's taking a drag. But it now his head, but his stomach is sick. But he's touching his head, but she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now, letting me know can't look is killing me, taking control. Jealousy turning saints into the sea, swimming through sweet lullabies, choking on your alibis. But it's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Open up my eagle eyes, 'cause I'm Mr. Brightside. Coming out of my cage and I'll be doing just fine. Gotta be down because I want it all. Started out with a kiss, so did it end up like this? It was only a kiss, it was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's calling a cab while I have a smoke and she's taking a drag. Now my stomach is sick and it's all in my head, but she's touching his chest now. He takes off her dress now, letting me know. Cause it's just, it's killing me, sorry. Taking control. Jealousy turning saints into the sea, swimming through sick lullabies, choking on your alibis. But it's just the price I pay. Destiny is calling me. Open up my eagle eye, 'cause I'm Mr. Brightside. I never, I never, I never, I never.
Amazing, amazing. You did
you go.
wonderful.
I tried.
Thank you,
There
thank
was
you,
a
thank
bits in
you.
there that I fucked up, but anyway, all good.
You did 10 times better than I did. So, just say, I get
Cool.
so nervous, I just like totally mess up the whole way through, and then I just like laugh at myself towards the middle of it. So, but that's
Well,
what
I
you gotta
tried.
do. You gotta laugh at yourself. You did good. I appreciate it. You did great. Hopefully, you'll
Appreciate
do
the
another one
opportunity.
for us. Yeah.
Peace
Catch
out.
you around the cycle. Bye.
I know. Better not be too good, and they're someone's gonna ask me to come back again.
Well, that's what I just said. Maybe you'll do another one tonight and get back in line. We'll see. We need a number 2. But thank you so
Sure.
much.
Right. Love you loads.
Bye.
Have fun. Peace out.
Thanks. Yes. All right. Who do we have up next tonight? Let's see what we got going on here. Make sure everybody has the role that's gonna be singing. Hold on. I don't know that he has the role yet, so he may not be able to speak. Da-da-da. Alright. Now, Racing Tank, can you hear us? Nope. Let me move back. And then. Alright, Racing Tank, we should be able to hear you now. Say hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Welcome, welcome, welcome. I had to make sure you had the role. I was like, oops, because it didn't auto give it to you for some reason. But yeah, welcome, welcome, welcome. Are you ready to sing for us?
Yeah.
Okay.
Shall
go
I
ahead
tell
and
you the
share.
song and let you find the lyrics?
Oh, I thought you already had a video ready to go and you were just gonna share your screen.
I do. It is currently in music chat. Let me just
Okay.
turn on my screen share for the moment here.
Yeah.
Let's see.
your screen and make sure everybody's volumes are good. Oh, I think you shared the wrong screen.
Can you hear this?
Yeah, you shared the wrong one. You gotta share the YouTube screen, not the Discord.
Oh, my bad. Hold on a minute.
Yeah. It's okay.
I'll put a pause on that.
So yeah, just open it up in YouTube and then share it when you're ready.
Okay. Give me a moment here.
Yeah, no rush. How is everybody in chat? Everybody enjoying the magical singers we got tonight? Everybody sounds great and amazing. 10 times better than me.
I don't know about that. Haven't heard you yet.
I went once. It was pretty bad. I get too nervous and I
Oh.
can't even. I just stumble
Does
over
the
my
cold
words.
get to your throat?
And I just stumble. I just like freak out and I start fidgeting and I don't even follow the lines and all that good stuff. So, alright, make sure your volume's on for YouTube. Gonna do a quick play test there.
Let me see if I can turn that all the way up for you.
Yeah, I would turn it either all the way up or halfway, depending. Yeah. Alright. Go with that.
You can hear Peaches. Alright, so let me know when you're ready.
Alright, we're ready for you. You're up.
Alright, here we go. This is the Shoebox by Chris Young. Stumbled on a bunch of junk of mine in a shoebox the other night. In between cleaning up piles of messes that I've made of my life. Ticket stubs, love poems, and old letters. I dumped them all out on the floor bed. Found a homemade birthday card from Mom, and this is what it said. Yeah, this is what it said. Don't forget the little moments, they're the ones that mean the most. When the way home seems so far away, take 'em out and hold them close. Take a picture with your father, 'cause one day he'll be gone. Don't forget to fill an old shoebox full of things to look back on. Full of things to look back on. Opened up my grandpa's pocket knife, and I was back to his back porch. It was summertime, I was turning 9. He said, "You want that knife? It's yours." I remember running off in the yard, carved my name in every tree. I haven't held it since he passed away, and it meant the world to me, because he meant the world to me. Don't forget the little moments, they're the ones that mean the most. When the way home seems so far away, take 'em out and hold them close. And take a picture with your father, 'cause one day he'll be gone. But don't forget to fill an old shoebox full of things to look back on. Look back on. Little window to the past. Look back on. God knows life goes by so fast. If you should ever doubt the blessings that you've had. Don't forget the little moments, they're the ones that mean the most. When the way home seems so far away, take 'em out and hold them close. And take a picture with your father, 'cause one day he'll be gone. And don't forget to fill an old shoebox full of things to look back on. I stumbled on a bunch of junk of mine in a shoebox the other night.
Thank you
I
so
wish I
much,
could have done
Tate.
that
Thank you,
without
thank
his
you,
voice,
thank you.
so
You
I
did
wish I
so
could have found a
good.
better one.
Yeah, yeah, and typically we don't use ones with the actual singer in it, so if you can find one with
My
just the
father
text
founded St.
and
Jude.
I
the
didn't
music,
even
then
know it
that's
still had his voice on there.
yeah, yeah. So make sure you test your
But it's what I
videos next
found on
time.
short notice.
Yeah, that's okay. But alright, we got Jeff Ron up next. Or no, not Jeff Ron, hold on. It is going to be Parker, so thank you, thank you, thank you. And Dash. Nico,
Oh, hi!
Dash.
That was
Happy
quick.
New Year,
I
thank
gotta
you,
go
thank you,
set
thank you.
everything up, if you don't mind.
You weren't ready? Oh no! Cheated
I
you?
mean, it's my next song's actually a surprise song that I've sung in perfect English. That's Danish. So I would have
Nice.
you sing with me, but the lag is so bad that I was otherwise. So I'm
Oh.
not gonna
Well,
let
thank
you
you,
do that.
Dash. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Welcome to karaoke night, Dash.
Let me check. I'm gonna check everything.
Take
Yep,
your time.
I
Take your
got
time.
it ready, and I'm gonna go press a magic button on my end.
Alrighty.
There you go.
Let me get this
It's
up.
the fully screens.
Make sure it's fully
I got music to check to see
screened.
if noise suppression is off.
Yep. Make sure all
Hear
that's
that nice and
good.
clear? I'm gonna do a song called Doodah. Sing that song, Doodah. It's a really weird song. And when everybody can dance to it if they want to. So.
Okay. I'm sure we will. We'll be wiggling in our seats.
Everybody, let's do this, shall we? Got my song ready.
Yes. Go for it.
Everybody sing the song, doo-dah, doo-dah. Well, everybody sing the song on the doo-dah day. Everybody sing the song, doo-dah, doo-dah. Well, everybody sing the song on the doo-dah day.
On the Doodah day.
Everybody sing the song, doo-dah, doo-dah. Well, everybody sing the song on the doo-dah day. Everybody sing the song, doo-dah, doo-dah. Well, everybody sing the song on the doo-dah day.
Don't be shopping who wants to die. Just be a baba bada do 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 da. The rockin' out and do da do da. No way, my no. Hey, come here.
Everybody sing the song, oh do da day. Everybody sing the song, do da do da. Everybody sing the song, oh do da day. Oh do da day, oh do da day. Everybody sing the song, oh do da day. Get wild, get wild, get wild, get wild.
Hit the floor, don't be shy, but don't you die. Give me a bubble box, you say you die.
Fucking up and do da, you do da.
Anyway,
everybody sing a song, oh do-da-day. Everybody, everybody sing a song, oh do-da-day. Oh do-da-day, oh do-da-day. Everybody sing a song, oh do-da-day.
I need a breather, so everybody wave your hands in the air like you just don't care. If you're able to.
Get wild, get wild, get wild. Everybody sing a song, do-da-do-da. Well, everybody sing a song, do-da-day. Everybody sing a song, do-da-do-da. everybody sing the song, all do-da-day. All do-da-day, all do-da-day. So everybody sing the song, all do-da-day. Oh, boy. Yeah.
You sound out of breath there. Like that song just got the best of you, right?
Man, that was like man, that was I was dancing to that, and then
That was a
it
workout.
making me lose my breath.
That was
Yeah,
a voice workout, right?
yeah, and I'm gonna wait till my next turn and let everybody so I can take my breather. Okay.
Yes, you go breathe, and we'll see who's up next. Thank you so much, partner. Appreciate it. All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks. All right. Who do we have next? Lady Rain. Ay, ay, ay. You're next. Oh God. Okay. I'll do one more tonight. I guess since I'm like pressuring everybody else to do one more, I'll do one more. All right. We'll do one more. And if we run out of people that want to sing, we can always switch to games. Just saying. We can do some crazy wild golf with friends nights, you know. I'm down. But I definitely enjoy doing karaoke on New Year's. It's just definitely a good way to end 2023. It's always a hit. It's always a good time. And I appreciate you guys. Yay! See, we got 3 more people after me. Thank God. Because I can't. I think this is my last one. I'm doing 2. That's it. Okay, let me pull up myself here. And pull up my song. Do I have to? I'm not ready for this. I wish I didn't get so nervous about it, but I really do. I get so freaking nervous. I'm gonna sound terrible. It's just gonna be a thing. It's gonna be a thing. And then let me fix this and that. And this. So here we go. Yay! I'm excited. Can't wait for her to sing. You shouted out. I can't hear a word you say. You're talking loud, not saying much. You criticize, but all your bullets ricochet. Shoot me down, but I get up. Thank you, Shane. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire. Ricochet, fire away. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. Cut me down, but it's you who'll have further to fall. Ghost town and haunted love. Raise your voice. Sticks and stones may break my bones. Talking loud, not saying much. I'm bulletproof, nothing to lose. Fire away, fire. Ricochet, take me away. Fire away, fire. You shoot shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. You shoot me down, but I won't fall. I'm titanium. He's too sober to sing, is that what you said? I'm titanium. Alright. Alright guys, that was me. That was my attempt to sing. I hope I did decent. Thank you guys. Thanks for the loves and the flowers in chat. Alright, we have Shane next, then Michigan and Raleigh. So alright, let me close this out and get ready for Shane to pop in. And you know what? Let's take a quick break, guys. Let's take a 2-minute break really quickly before we go into the next song. Just because I am going to, yeah. Oh, let me grab Shane. I don't know if he knows that. It's like, actually, you know what? Shane can sing while I take a quick break. Because, oh. Shane, you're up. You're going to have the floor. You're going to have everything. Uh-oh, I hear myself.
Oh dear.
No. But yeah, look at your screen up, and then while you sing, I'm gonna run to the cat box, the litter box. Yes.
Okay, let's see here.
Watch and share. Get no
Just
satisfaction. This'll be good. This'll be good. You always do such a good job.
Then why don't I just wait till you come back?
Oh. Okay. You can wait. You can entertain everybody then. You can talk to them for
Yeah.
a hot minute. I'm gonna put you on camera though. So it's
That's
you,
fine.
man. Alright.
That's fine.
Guys, Shane's gonna entertain you for a hot second while we take a break. So if anybody else needs a break, real quick, now's the time. Go grab snacks, water, drinks. Be right back.
This is awkward. No, this Michigan, this is as big probably as you're gonna see me on Mono's stream. I don't do a full screen like she does. Holy shit. Eden, thank you so much for all those subscriptions. Man, you literally just missed it. That is, oh my god. You made the goal too. I love it. Welcome, Eden.
Welcome back. Thank you. Holy cow, 10 subs, man. Jeez,
Man, no,
that's just
that's
blowing
like-
up.
That's
Thank you so
22
much.
now.
What? 22?
That he did 12 while you was gone, and now he just did another 10.
What? Eden! Holy cow! Happy New Year, man. Thank you so much for gifting all those subs to everyone. Appreciate it so much. Thank you. Let's see who all got subs. I don't think it actually calls them all out, but yes, Sent One, Sky, Desi, just naming the regulars. Big B's, Celestial Frog, Shades, look at everyone in there. I see you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much, Eden. Happy New Year, Eden. Happy New Year. Thank you. You're just in time to hear Shane sing. I was gonna tell him, I was like, you know, you should I should have gave him an assignment while I was gone, you know, because this is, you know, other mod duties as assigned. So this is one of those duties today. I was gonna say, could have had him like, you know, what is he thankful for in 2023? I don't know.
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
I heard you sing Titanium. Oh God, thank you. You need
No,
to.
that was good, Mono.
What? What do I need to do? Project? Yeah. I get so nervous that I can't sing like louder and up and out. I like suppress everything.
That's why I'm bringing my microphone, like almost swallowing it.
Yeah, I probably should do that. Like, put it up against my mouth, and that would help. Just do it. No, chicken butt. Like when I sing at home alone, like I will be loud throughout my whole house. But I don't know. It's just something about other people listening that even on here and on a mic, I like get quiet and I can't like project like that. You know how it is. Everybody can sing in the shower. Yeah, that kind of singing. I sing great any other time. When nobody's listening. That's it.
Now I just sound like I'm really vain because I love to sing in front of people.
I used to, but I don't think I ever really sang like solos or alone, so that's different too. When you're singing with a group, I feel like it's different then too because you're part of the group, but by myself, I've never had to sing by myself in front of anybody other than you guys, so excuses. I hear excuses. Yes. Just here for a sec. Did anyone sing Tequila? No, no one sang Tequila yet. But yes, Shane is about to sing for us. Eden, I hope you're doing awesome. Thank you again for gifting all those subs to the community. Very much appreciated. You're awesome. We miss seeing you around. Thank you. It's good to see you tonight. So thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, I'm gonna let Shane have the floor, and I'm gonna hush now so he can sing the song.
Alrighty. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. 'Cause I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no. I can't get no. When I'm driving in my car and a man comes on the radio, he's telling me more and more about some useless information supposed to fire my imagination. I can't get no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, hey, hey. That's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no satisfaction. 'Cause I try, and I try, and I try, and I try. I can't get no. I can't get no. When I'm watching my TV and a man comes on and tells me how white my shirts can be, but he can't be a man 'cause he doesn't smoke the same cigarettes as me. I can't get no. Oh, no, no, no. Hey, hey, hey. That's what I say. I can't get no satisfaction. I can't get no girl reaction. 'Cause I try, and I try, and I try.
Alright. Let's see. Let me unmute myself here. Thank you so much, Shane. You did so good. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
I don't know.
Trying to
I
figure out
butchered
this.
that one a little bit.
No, no, that's a very fun song. I saw you pick that one. I was like, ooh, that's a good one to sing. I was like, it just sounds fun to sing. You don't have to like sing it, perfect every time, but it sounds good. There we go. Trying to figure this out. There we go. Antlers and mini hat at the same time. I did posture check and drank water, but I could use more water. But yeah. Thank you, Shane. Appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you again, Eden. Thank you, thank you, thank you for stealing the show. With all those gifted subs and biddies. Thank you so much. A little late, but otherwise more confidence, and he's got it. Oh yeah, he sounded so good with the other song too, because he's just like more prepared with the other song. But Shane does really good. He always sings so well. Let's get salty. Hype, hype, hype. You're gonna be all moany and sit in the corner. That sounds like Eden. That sounds like Eden. Ooh, who's next? Is it Crowley? Are they next? I don't remember. I'll have to look. Reigns in charge. What?
Drugs.
Oh,
What?
it's
Hello.
Michigan. Wait, that's wrong.
Drugs.
What is it supposed to be?
Nothing.
What is it supposed to be, Eden? It's gonna be all
Anyways, I hope everybody has a good New Year's and all that jokes.
Are you sure? Are you sure? Nah, jokes. But yes, welcome. What are you gonna sing now for us?
I don't know. You'll have to figure it out.
Let's see. I'm gonna get this going. Time of your life. Oh my gosh. It's the time of your life. I can hear
First
you
song I ever
now.
learned on the guitar, but anyways, I hope to.
Okay.
Let's do it.
I'm pulling your leg. Okay, I was like, gosh, how would it be wrong all this time? But yeah, I think Michigan is ready, and we're gonna give Michigan the floor. But yes. I'm gonna mute myself. It's all you, man.
You
You got
do
this.
it. Yeah. Another turning point, a fork stuck in the road. Time grabs you by the wrist, directs you where to go. So make the best of this task and don't ask why. It's not a question, but a lesson learned in life. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you have the time of your life. So take the photographs and still frames in your mind, hanging on the shelf in good health and good time. Tattoos and memories and dead skin on trial. But what it's worth, it was worth all the while. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you have the time of it. It's something unpredictable, but in the end is right. I hope you have the time of your life. is something unpredictable, but in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life.
Did great, Michigan. You did good. It sounded amazing. Wow.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
your first song, you were like, I could tell the nerves were there, but this one, you like calmed down and your nerves aren't as there. You just like sang through the whole thing. You did good.
Oh, I know this song. Wait, wait,
You did
yeah,
really, really good.
yeah, I
Thank
know.
you. Thank you for
Yeah,
singing
thank
for
you.
us.
Yeah,
Alright, we'll
thank you.
catch you next time. But yeah, thank you, Eden, again for those gifted subs, and thank you. Yes, come karaoke with us sometime or play some Stardew with us, and good luck when you go back to work Tuesday. Good luck, good luck, good luck. Hello, Sidlon.
Oh God, I got yeeted again.
Yeeted. One of the
Hello.
best singers in the house, so I'm excited.
Oh God.
I'm
No,
ready.
no, no,
I'm
no,
ready.
no.
I'm ready.
All right, this one is a little different of a flavor than Valerie was.
Sidlon caught right you.
Space Girl by Francis Forever.
I wonder if I've heard this one. I'll know when I hear it. It's one of those things.
Yeah, probably.
I have to wait till you share screen and then I'll share. Too.
Yep. I was just making sure everything was good on my end.
Oh, yeah, I don't blame you. And I try not to push the button until I know everybody's ready to be seen and heard and all that good stuff. So
I am ready.
alright, let's switch over. I'll mute myself. You got the floor.
Okie dokie. Space girl, show me the stars. You know the galaxies of my heart. Girl, are you a Cancer? 'Cause you make me cry when we kiss our down in the sky. We're dancing in the sky. Space girl, I saw a lunar eclipse. Looked like how I feel about your lips. Space girl, the only way that we'd end is if you were sucked into a black hole. But I'd still spend my days dreaming about you. Dreaming about you. Tell me how to stop dreaming about you. Girl, are you a Cancer? 'Cause you make me cry when we kiss or dance in the sky. We're dancing in the sky. Ooh, not yet. Oh, still not yet. Damn it. Diggity diggity darn. I hope you play this song someday and think of Earth Girl who loves Space Girl. I hope you play this song someday and think of Earth Girl who loves Space Girl. I hope you play this song someday. That was it.
Like that. I don't know that I have heard that song, but I really like that song. That was really good.
It used to be really popular on like TikTok a little while back.
I like that. I'm surprised I missed it on TikTok. But it sounds like something for like an animated series or something like that. Like it would be the intro theme song or something, or the ending theme song of something animated, and I love that. I love it.
Yeah, I enjoy it a lot. But thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you. Catch you next time.
Bye.
Let's see who's next. Say bye, everyone. All right. That was Krellin. So good, so good, so good. I love that song. Space Girl and Earth Girl, that's so cute. Love it, love it, love it, love it. Yes. Thank you, thank you. Alright, Lady Rain, what we got going on in chat? Parker is next. Okay, sweet, sweet, sweet. So Parker's up for round 3. Hi, Parker. Welcome, welcome, welcome. What do we have lined up after that? Or do we want to have some...
Hi.
Hi. Just
Well,
Lady Rain.
Tank and everybody challenged me to this song to see if I can do it, and there's no money on it. So this is going to be a silly song. So I'm going to go ahead and do my prep work for my screen hips. This is for you, Tank, and everybody.
Alright, let me get it ready. Let me get it up. Alright. Oh my gosh.
It's a real deal. Since Splits can't do his trademark first to Barbie Girl, I thought I could do a Stardew tradition by my version of the hamster dance.
Alright, well, you're up. It's your turn. Hit
Sorry, Tank, I have to do this. Challenge me. Here we go.
everybody. Now here we go. Get your ready to go to the donkey dog. Now stop your feet and clap your hands. Come on, everybody. Put your hands today. Bounce your top to the beat. Hey, you don't even have to move your feet. Take your thing up to your bowl and run around and feel the groove. Let's try. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands. Come on, everybody. Give the hamster dance. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands. Come on, everybody. Hamster dance.
That was great. That was so good,
Yeah.
Parker. You did great on that ending. That was so
Yeah.
good.
I could challenge everybody in the chat, so I thought I'd do it.
You're like, what? Oh. But yeah. Thank you so much. Thank you so
I
much.
was like,
I appreciate
Yeah.
that. I appreciate that. Guys, we're gonna transition from karaoke tonight over to some golf with friends. So get ready, go open up your games. And let's do this. Let's see. Golf with friends. But yes, everyone that participated tonight in the karaoke, greatly appreciate it. Golf. Yeah. Just changing my titles here. Setting up, and then I gotta open the game too. And I need to jump in the group with everybody. One thing at a time. But you guys are awesome. Hope you enjoyed karaoke tonight. Hope you enjoyed hearing everybody sing. It's so much fun. You guys are just awesome. I love hearing everybody sing. And I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else to say. I'm a loss for words tonight. I'm a mess. So yes, thank you. It's unusual that I'm at a loss for words. I usually have a lot of words to say. Yeah, let me go grab the team and jump in chat with them and let them know we're all live. On my Steam does things and stuff.
Like,
Hi all.
who's
We are
There's
hosting?
live.
some model person.
Mono's
Oh, she's here.
hosting.
No, okay.
I
Hi.
have to.
Hi, friend.
Hi humans.
Hello.
We are live
Hi,
and doing things and
humans.
stuff. Yes.
We had
And-
majority fault to golf, so then I didn't have to do a duet.
Oh.
No, you do it afterwards, I think.
I was wondering
No,
what
we're
that
not
was.
doing
I was
that.
like, I could totally see you doing a duet with Shane. I could totally see that. And then I
You
didn't know. I
wanted
was like,
to.
No, this is real stuff.
Yeah, I had mentioned it had I been, like, not sober.
Well,
Me and Michigan.
I thought-
Michigan
Had
were
she
still
not
good
been
for
not
singing,
sober, I think
honestly,
that actually
Shane, we need a
qualifies.
duet. We need a duet together.
I thought that's
think.
why they called it a duet, because after we're done what I need to done, then you have to duet.
I didn't
Oh,
mean
we
to embarrass
did.
everybody with darned hamster materials, but I
Okay.
had to do it.
It says something in her ear, and I can't figure out what it is for the life of me, but
Uh-oh.
it looks like a bug.
Oh no.
No.
Vince.
You don't need no bugs in the ears.
Oh, is
No,
it?
it's-
Okay.
Oh, yeah, it was Splints. Why didn't you sing? Where was your
What?
song?
No idea.
What? What? You're on next. We got one more spot, one more position.
I think
It's waiting for you.
He was at the
Yeah.
grocery store.
The moment you include me,
Uh-huh.
my computer will crash.
His computer worse than mine. I don't know how that happened.
It'll break. We'll break the
That old
computer.
chestnut. That old
Yup.
chestnut.
That's what's
It's
gonna
been,
happen.
it's been
Literally
dying
break
all
the
night.
computer.
Everybody knows it.
No, these are
Oh,
lies,
no.
actually. He's just
Let's
so
see.
nervous. Like he's
Okay,
I'm
shaking.
so
Yeah, I can see
seized
him
up.
shaking.
And then yeah, back to big me so I get the password set up. But yeah, start on the side.
Back to the big me. That's what I say to.
I'm waiting for my golf to load.
Me too. Me too. Because apparently my Steam had to do an update as well. So yeah,
I
I
had
was
to
like, what?
install mine
had-
again because I had a big screw up with downloading Red Dead Redemption, and I couldn't play that due to graphics card crap.
Mm.
See if mine is
Well,
working
that
yet.
would get you.
Fucking shit, this hurts.
Everybody wants
Yeah,
to go.
Post. Staying alive, staying alive.
Mono, if you have to leave stream again for a moment, I figured out how I'm gonna entertain chat.
Did you? Oh.
Yeah,
I can
I have.
I can roast people. I can roast Never mind. I don't think.
No, let's not roast people.
They can rope.
I was gonna say I had
He
one
was
more
going to
song in me.
roast,
I was gonna do "Numb" by Linkin Park. So I
Oh,
could do
that's a
that
good
while you're-
song. Yeah. Take like a 5-minute break.
Do a
Let
parody
you
of
sing.
a song. Like there's this one song called "I Should Have Worn a Condom," but I don't think
Let's
that
not.
would be.
That's
No.
not.
That would have.
Yeah, we are live. So let's not do that.
hard.
But alright, I have the game up and running. You guys can join the lobby anytime you want.
Let's do
I will
it.
join it as soon as Team District acts
No,
again.
I'm so lost. I don't even have friends who play this anymore.
I don't have friends.
What?
So it looks like
Splits?
they fixed
What
the
the heck?
menu issues.
I don't
at least.
know.
You're not one of my. What do you mean, friends that play it?
should have worn a condom.
I hit shift. Oh, now I have it. Okay.
Yeah, I don't have friends. That's okay.
Looks like
We know.
they fixed
Enter
it.
password.
I know, you know, but I was trying to tell everybody.
Mind to
Gosh.
put collision on.
I probably spelled
you
that
don't-
wrong.
I don't mind. I'll turn it on.
You don't have
Oh
to worry
my
about
goodness.
streams.
Oh, okay.
Looks like I'll be able to play. They fixed
I-
mine.
Didn't
Oh,
get
yeah.
to enter the password out.
Yeah, it does that
They had a
sometimes.
Unity upgrade, and
I'm just gonna transfer
Can
them to
somebody
my lap.
please invite me?
Yeah.
come on, man. Come on, golf.
There you
I
go.
want to be invited.
Please download.
I noticed some other people were playing in another community tonight that I'm friends with, so I invited them too, just because they were like, "Oh, come on!"
Oh, dude.
I do say that.
Wait, you can join off of me,
Because
right?
I think I'm friends with a
No,
couple
no,
of them.
no.
Yeah,
I need to
yeah.
spell it.
They're all
Way
playing
that
with
it's
Jaime, I
proper.
think, in his community tonight, so that's really cool. I'm just harassing them.
Come on,
Because
I
there's-
can't
There's
pass
4 of
this.
them. So,
Because every time I try to type. Anyway.
Type,
Oh
type.
my goodness. Type.
Raise your hand
No,
if you
stop.
type that.
It's not
If
good
you're
enough.
in.
It's not good enough.
Anyways, his computer
It's not
is.
good enough.
you might just need to join somebody's game.
Alright, I typed it. Yeah.
You made it!
Can we have teams?
I'm
Or,
telling you,
no
the game
teams?
might have loaded yet.
Do we have?
We can do
Not
teams.
this time.
Oh, we have an odd amount.
You can have
Got
all
it.
the teams you want.
Oh, we got an odd amount? So you don't want to do it? Okay. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
not this
Wait,
time.
wait. Am I supposed to wear a hat?
Well, I agree with him, I
You
guess.
don't have
'cause
to, but you can.
I have.
I would like to.
Customize. What kind of character do we want to represent the new year?
Customize.
Mm,
Didn't I?
Whoa, whoa, whoa. A sober person said that.
Okay,
not me.
you said some shit, but that's not what I meant.
This is a PG channel, and
No, we're not.
no,
I
it's
guess black cat. There we go. All right. Okay. How do I
I can't
stop?
balance this though.
Invite? No, I don't want to invite. Excuse me.
2024, even though it's
Alright.
not 2024 for us.
You guys just let me know when you're in and you're ready, and I'll hit start.
Well, that's what she said. Oh, sorry.
Oh my god.
Wow.
I need some water after that.
Yep, I'm stepping away.
No, that was. We've been watching The Office lately, so I had to.
Uh-oh. It's a break time for Splints.
No, he's
As
gonna
he
roll
gets
down
into
the
the game.
stairs. He's gonna.
Oh
Okay.
no.
I have applied my new hat.
Okay. I'm not gonna start the game without him, because then he'll, like,
Cry.
just die each round.
There we go. I've got it to work.
No, he'll cry.
There we
start
go.
crying.
Yay!
My headphones back.
I like it, I like it. I almost bought a New Year's hat, but I didn't this year.
I noticed power-ups are disabled.
Correct. We don't use
Okay.
power
That's a good thing.
That's
That's a
fine.
good
What
thing.
about jump?
Jump
Yeah,
in.
Yeah, jump's on. Jump and collision are on.
Okay, we're good then. Just wanted to make sure everything.
Yay!
was
Splits is back!
Hey, Splints.
Alright, wow. What are we
Wait
supposed to
for
do?
mine to
Alright.
load
We
again.
brought Gigi out.
Going
Oh
without
no.
for a while.
Okay.
Ooh,
Escape.
that was fast.
I got voted out.
What? How? When? Where?
What do you mean? I think I did.
You get booted?
I think I did.
So everything. Oh,
No.
Yeah, Splint's got booted.
Something's failed on
What?
his computer.
The second he sat down, so do we need to back all the way out and get him back in then?
No, don't.
Yes.
Please.
Retire.
Would agree.
I'm not that guy. You don't need to do that for me.
Yep. No, we're retiring now.
Hey, we waited
You're
for you to came
retiring.
back from your dream. So, for you to play,
Okay.
and then it kicked you out, so we're just gonna
Why me?
let you back in.
Because you're
Why you?
Because you're family. Ohana means family.
Oh,
Family
oh,
means no
come
one
on,
gets
me.
left behind.
I will never leave you behind, Splints. Come on.
Yeah. Alright.
Oh,
Well, you guys
then
join.
you'll back out.
Yeah, I'm gonna grab
You'll
the drink.
back
It's my turn.
No, you whacked out.
Yes, we all backed out.
Oh, okay, okay.
Or
Not leaving
Michigan.
Splints behind.
Never leave a man behind.
I don't know why me, but that's okay.
At least
Yes,
I
you
have
can.
time for my
You're
thing to
okay.
download because
Oh. Hello, friends.
well, oh goose, you make $44,000 US. Lucky
Alright,
you.
who didn't make it back in? Splints?
Yeah,
Still?
probably.
Oh, sorry, it's
none
probably me.
are
I was-
missing
Still waiting
Michigan,
on
too.
my
Yeah,
thing
yeah.
to download.
I was
So
not paying
Yeah, I know.
Let's.
How do we do this?
without
there
me
we
for a
go.
while.
Oh, Racing Day's already here.
Oh, wait,
Extra
I
invite.
need to type. I need to type fast.
Did it or you
There's a
didn't?
gum-
I find it easier. just
Oh,
to
it's
join
all
off
caps. No. It's not gonna work. Confirm, whatever. It's timed out. Oh, I'm getting multiple invites. Alright.
I know
You
nothing.
just join off someone.
No, why am I caps locked? Alright, there we go.
Well, that would do it.
With Asia.
Oh no, is that quick enough? Alright, it is.
Don't need cap.
Oh my god, I gotta step away for a sec. No, just keep playing.
Who are we missing? Tank?
No one.
No.
Not everyone now.
Friendship.
Yeah, wait. Yeah.
Okay, everybody's here. Go ahead, start. Enable collision. Start. I think we're good now. I think it'll work this time around.
Fingers crossed.
Mm-hmm.
Yep,
I see a
everyone's
pigeon.
still in.
Oh, I'm going slow motion. Pew.
Okay, so guys, you will probably never see this again, but you see me with a bottle that looks suspicious in my hand.
Yeah,
But it's sparkling grape juice.
Definitely moonshine.
Yeah.
100%.
Sparkling grape juice, I bet.
Classy.
Yeah.
Why do you have moonshine, man?
Classiest way to
Good
drink
stuff.
it, too.
Prince, Prince, can you go to the bathroom quicker?
I gotta play. Oh, no. Shut up.
You went right in the hole. Damn.
I wasn't very.
Look at me, number one and everything.
That wasn't
This is
very
when you
good
quit.
breeze
Okay,
there.
good.
I just gotta stop.
Whoa.
I am off.
Wow.
I'm actually off.
It's been a while.
That was a lot of yeet and it still worked.
Look at somebody else with your
He's
yeets.
dancing. I mean, we could
I'm
take it
ready
back
for
to talk about senpais again.
Half a knee. Alright.
Let's not say we did.
Oh
Yeah,
shit, I
Let's
messed
play
up.
some
New
deer.
phone, who this?
I messed up so bad. Oh, I messed up again. Shit. This is not good.
Oh, come on. How do I open a fucking
guys.
corner?
Oh, thanks. Glenn.
Hello.
I'm already in the hole. You
What do
guys
you want? I
Maybe
got
all
double
in
bogeys.
Thanks, Lens. I appreciate it.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, yeah.
Come on.
Oh, that was a little much.
Hold on, this one is like
Pew.
half a cum pie.
How a cum
He-
pie?
Who hit me?
Excuse me?
Fuck's a
Apple
cum
what?
pie?
That was Dream.
That wasn't me.
Take power.
Alright,
It
alright.
was, but it's alright.
I went
Don't
red.
worry, don't worry, don't worry. I'll still get in there in a double bogey. It's alright. Oh, I got a bogey. Don't worry.
Didn't give it enough power.
Okay, Shane, are your shoes untied?
How would you know?
I'm just trying to tell him. I'm trying to
I
be
hate
good.
to tell you this, Michigan, but my shoes currently do not have
Get in that hole, baby.
Well, maybe,
I got a par.
I don't know,
What's
your
up?
toe hair. I don't know.
Same.
Yeah, flip flops are, as some people call them,
Does
chunky.
everybody
I know, I have your
got
OnlyFans. I know.
weirdest stuff now?
Hold.
Oops,
Oh,
oops.
this one messes me up every time.
Oops.
Yeah.
I hit somebody.
Yeah, this one's definitely
That's nice.
a harder one. Just
Yoy, 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 yoy.
You helped
What?
me out a little bit there, Lynn.
Did I?
Slowed me down.
Yeah, I pushed you right into the. Yeah.
well, I slid in.
No, you
Wow,
slowed me down
Dream,
that
you
time.
you bounced over the shit.
I'll rimmed it.
Ugh.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm climbing up. I'm climbing up.
everybody? Oh gosh, this one. Yep. Yep.
Come on. Oh,
It's
No!
not a fully.
dude,
it's
we
not
all had a
fully-
threesome. Went in the hole. Hell yeah.
I'll
It's
take
not
no,
a
there's
one
fully.
thing.
There was 3
Oh,
balls
yeah.
that went in the hole at the same time.
No,
Yeah, I
shit.
noticed.
I didn't give her enough
Sorry,
power.
lady.
No, you're good.
I'm good.
Yeah,
like
well, just go
Jesus
with the
2.5.
bogey.
What the fuck?
Same for the-
Please
Just
go
on
with
a-
the
Lady,
bogeys.
your ball's a little off, off balance because of.
I know. That's my wiggly head.
Wrigley head.
The Beatmaster.
Meow.
This one's a gimme.
Here we go. Everybody
I
wants to
messed it
jump over those little pickles.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Whoops, I messed up.
Pickles.
And somebody tripped the people in front of me.
Still messed up.
Still coming forward. Yeah, got a part.
You got a bar?
Mm-hmm.
Like double bogey after that miss.
Even though I fell off.
Oh, please.
My second to last doesn't even matter.
Oh, month.
I'm hoping someone will hit me.
What?
What?
Shay, knock it off. I'm trying to fight.
Let's see.
Shay, it's not 2024 yet in America, so just can you kill it?
Double bogey. I could have had a hole in one had I not overshot that first shot.
I know, I could have had many hole in ones, but I overshot it too.
Just 2 seconds. See, while we're playing this, are you able
Uh-huh.
to, like, would any of you like to listen to my most fucking incredible Christmas song?
No.
No, we're good.
I thought it was in the hole.
Come on.
It depends.
Oh,
You
it's,
thought you were in the hole.
I thought I was in the hole.
Already
Unbelievable.
overstimulated dreams.
okay.
Romano always thinks he's in the hole, but it's just not.
Yeah.
Did I get in the hole? Oh, so close.
You can post a link in like Demon Chat or something. We
Yeah.
can take a look at it.
Not gonna risk any more strokes on that.
I was so close, but in the end, it didn't matter.
It didn't even matter.
I just fucked myself.
Yeah, alright.
Well, I'm doing it on camera too.
What opportunity?
Oh god, what are you doing on camera?
We're getting shot
Giving shots.
Oh.
from my wiggly head.
No one told
I'm
me.
one behind now. Jeez, hold on. I want to win. Lady, that you cheat.
Who bumped me? I would have had a hole in one.
I jumped and went right into.
I know. I saw it. I was right behind.
Oh.
I did go
I've done
straight
that a
down
couple
the end.
times on different courses.
Did
Everybody's
Oh,
out
oh.
there. It hit me tonight.
It's a three-way tie.
I love a three-way tie.
Can you pause a little bit more? Okay. Get in the hole. There's.
I like that jump at the end.
I know. I had to make sure I was.
Did you see that?
I'm surprised you didn't overjump the hole by doing that. That would have been terrible.
But in the end, it didn't matter.
You need a little bit more meat than that.
I just want to be first. So if everybody could just get less, that'd be good.
Still tied. 3 ways for first.
On this one, you just need to go really tight.
No! Anyways, what's up? Whoa.
This is so cute because you can just go and miss. Like I did.
I think,
Or you
no,
can
no,
just
we're all
go.
two. I'm so close.
I know
to-
nothing.
Yeah, you're taking the long way.
I still think there's a gimmick to that half pipe.
You said it so, like, depressed. Like,
You know I've played this game so much when I can actually multitask to the point that I'm streaming, talking to all you guys, playing, plus playing Chicken Clicker.
Oh my god.
Thank your computer for that.
This is how she respects.
Egg ink. The egg ink is on her
I
phone.
can't. I can't move though because Lady and.
I'm so
her-
addicted to this dumb thing.
Is he pile up?
No.
I can't.
Down into
Okay, I
tonight.
can move now. No, I'm trying to win
What?
here.
Go rogue, Michigan.
Come on,
Whap
Mr.
somebody.
Sweet.
No, I'm not gonna.
Alright, I moved
No,
off,
now Spence is in front of
bitch.
me. I can't do it. Yeah.
That's what happens when you wait.
Shane in Michigan.
Whoa!
Oh fuck.
No, no.
What the fuck?
Over the
Dude,
figgy
you see that
pudding.
lag?
It was me, I'm sorry.
Mm.
I didn't upset you.
Stop that off. Don't stop. Nope. Get it, get it.
Michigan, how is that
I saw
not
that,
in?
Michigan. You bitch.
I didn't
saw
see
that.
shit.
Kimono,
I'm still
you'll be
wondering how
proud
the
of me.
people in the
I
house-
literally just fucked myself in.
Yes,
Kimono,
what did you
you'll be proud of me.
Oh,
I know.
I got one
Mm.
destroy.
proud of you. Good job.
Motherfucker.
No, I don't
Unlike
motherfucking.
me.
I accidentally let go of my
It's in
mouth.
here.
That's.
Every time.
Hey.
Yeah.
Yep.
Fuck.
Well,
Oh, never mind. I'm good.
it's almost a straight shot through there.
Wow.
Oh. You're so special. Oh no. Did it not go off? Did I not hear it?
I'll take a birdie.
You're so special. I
Wait,
didn't even hear
Spence
it.
on hole.
Momo. Thank you for the loves, Momo.
Here's the tip, Splints, aim for the target.
I'm
I know, I'm back in the fucking pit. Get the fuck out of town.
No, you can't make me. I live here too.
There it is.
Honestly, whoa, Spence is he's really taking care of that hole there.
Ooh, too hard. Too hard.
Hey Mona, check
Mhm.
out what I got from one of my coworkers for Christmas.
Let me blow it up. Hold on.
I love it.
I gotta blow it up. Hold on. What did it say? Hold on. You gotta pull it back up.
Game I'm in.
Oh my god. Yeah, that's perfect. I like it.
Are you kidding me?
How did that go?
Cute. Cute gift. You survived this time.
Motherfucker.
No, not really. I mean, I didn't hear it. I don't know why I didn't hear it.
I'll take a
Is
hole.
it not
in there,
working?
Thank you.
I messed up.
Is the sound command's not working? Let's see. Oh,
Still
I
get
can
in
hear that
the
one.
back.
Okay,
Ladies
first of all,
ball.
Or you can jump into the V.
Are you kidding me?
You
Lady.
cannot be serious.
What?
Let me see.
There it is.
Who's talking to me?
Computer. Oh, the bot
Me.
sounds are down. There we go. I turned them
can't
up
hear
louder.
you.
Cool.
Go,
I heard
lovely
my name
cat.
up
Thank
there.
you
I
so
can't-
much,
I literally
Momo.
cannot
Thank
hear.
you, thank you, thank you.
And my death-
You licked yourself. I guess you're prepping for bed there.
Oh, I jumped over it twice.
That's what he said, or Dream said.
I messed that one up big time.
Go too far, you.
No, I'm in a bad spot.
Yeah, Mona, you're not. Yeah, I'll do it.
No, I'm messing this
I
all
rammed
up.
it again.
Ay, ay, ay.
Come on, whoever's in first place has to take like 10 shots because that's.
I don't
usually
have.
how-
I can't say that. But it was like, oh,
Well,
what?
I'm-
What are shots? There we go.
Wild.
You're literally in
Oh, I
first place,
fucking
so
hate
that
this one.
tells you that you need to drink more.
Say goodbye.
Momo says night night, everyone.
Night, night.
Oh no.
Night, Momo.
Night, night, and I hope 24
Happy New Year, Momo.
is the way it should be. So, I don't know.
The log. No! Sorry, dreams incoming. Boom. Let's
Well,
see.
James, goodbye.
Probably
James.
gonna finish in third.
Catch you, everybody.
Take
I done a lot better in that time than what I thought. Than what I've ever done in that round.
Good. Did you go to the through the grass or did you go
Oh, no.
the saw blade way?
We skip and a hop. Oh, you put me in a jump?
Far corner. Ooh. Lucky you didn't get swept away there, Splints.
So you learned the corner trick. Proud of you.
I think I'm in second or third. I think I'm in third.
Splints, you're like right at the finish line. You just gotta roll in.
That's what she said.
Oh, man, that was
Oh no.
Double bogey.
What are you eating, Splints? I'm jelly.
Fries.
Get that up.
Oh, that sounds good.
One-on-one.
No 69s
Not
this
surprised.
time.
No.
69s.
Splints was close. Splints was real close.
Hey, I got a shift.
Congratulations.
Don't care eating
I
fries.
like it my chance.
I got some kind of like weird helmet looking thing.
With me.
Oh, no,
Oh,
fuck.
that's
What up,
fine.
Oh no, Split. You had just left the game on accident. Join off one of us.
No!
It's alright.
Join up real quick.
There. I'll give him 5 million invites again.
Boom. Wait. What? Stop. It's gonna mess it up.
I'm not home. Oh no!
It's gonna mess it up.
Momo needs to go to bed, guys. Like, she's
I hope
literally
you
in the
can
Netherlands. She's so tired.
Go to sleep, Momo.
Go to sleep.
It's gonna mess it up. Stop.
She's not. She's also not home.
At home.
No, she's not home. She's
Oh, it's
out of town right now.
invalid because I typed it in with caps lock. Why?
Why do you do cap?
Where
Ah, wrong
is
person.
the,
Puerto. What the fuck? No. Again, need to click, click, click. Boom.
Yeah, it's a good song.
Yep. Trying.
Hey, Parker just joined.
Hey.
Yay, you made it. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh.
it took me a while.
Who just exited?
No, we lost somebody else.
Michigan, get back here.
Again.
I want to watch the New Year's thing too. So.
Oh yeah. The
I'm
ball-
still
Well, that's
here.
not for another hour.
2 hours.
Yeah,
or
well,
1 hour.
There's a lot of
Sorry,
there's a lot
it's
of
an hour, sorry.
singing
Yeah, well,
and
there's a lot of lady
Gaga
hearts
and-
things.
Oh.
What is
mhm.
that?
Oh, fucking hell, stream that shit.
No, I'm not going to. No, it's more. I want to watch an hour.
I mean, you guys can stream it in Discord. That's fine. I just can't watch it while I'm live. That's fine.
I'm honestly over it.
That's it. Yeah, like I just because it's a new year.
Oh,
and stuff.
absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't take it easy.
Yeah, usually I find a
Yeah.
ball countdown for the end, but that's about it. And then I watch things
Well-
after.
Well, my bulbs always drop every year, but I don't. Finish.
Don't make
It's
a
very concerning that your balls drop every year.
Hilarious.
Oh man, I meant
Well,
those.
you know what that means.
Oh,
That
shit.
means nothing.
No!
You fucking swine.
What?
Absolute
happening?
swine.
Dang it, I did.
Dream, where are you going, Dream?
I'm now in, but fuck.
It took me too many tries on that one.
Oh, I didn't even make it in.
Damn, that is mine.
Parker, it's probably like fucking 2 and a bit.
Hey, shite.
Aim for the
He
long
can't
range
hear us.
sniper
He's
with
deafened.
power.
Probably like 2 and a bit.
He can't hear.
Oh, nailed it.
There you go.
Alright, I managed to get in.
Oh, Green Day is playing right now.
He cannot hear. He is deafened.
Oh, okay.
Yo.
Anyways, I'm streaming this. If anybody wants to, you know, stream.
Oh, fuck.
Green Day is playing right now.
Don't do what I just did.
Yeah, don't do what I did. It's fine.
Can never
You
get this
could
one.
almost make it over, but never mind.
the fuck?
Everybody.
There we go. Finally, it hits right on the ramp.
The shoe fits.
We stupid girl. Oh, we could have just jumped over?
Yeah.
We'll see if you can hold on.
Wrong one. I just wanted to check the Pokemon.
Oh, I jumped. I should not have jumped. Yep.
Chong. Oh no, Tate. I think we were just out to murder each other, Tate.
Maybe?
Yep.
Oh, Shane's turn. You get a ball.
Oh, you could have been. Oh.
I'll take a single, Logie. Thank you.
I didn't give you permission to touch my ball, James.
Well, sorry.
Well, not yet.
But, you know,
Oh, poor Parker.
see them, have to touch them. You know what I mean?
So was that first hole?
Anyone who has permission is Shane and Mono.
Shane's Ricks. Quote 69. Oh, no, I just want to touch it. Yes. See?
I think he's got like 4 more strokes. Maybe 3. Yeah. There's no way you're gonna make it on 2.
Yay!
Nope,
Couple
you're
Pokemons.
done.
I didn't have that one
You got
either.
50 seconds, and even on 1 stroke, I doubt he'd get this.
No!
All out of strokes.
Jong.
Sorry, Parker.
I don't know if Parker has the stream open or not. Well,
He doesn't. I don't know. He might have to stream it, but yeah. But he doesn't have the.
Oh, yeah. No.
Definitely over here though.
This way.
No! Bumps me! No! Not gonna go this slide.
Like Park.
Oh, come on. Oh, I get it. Ah, it's a game.
Is it?
Usually get that one in 2. Oh no, Dreams is winning. You can have that.
Oh, fuck.
We go beep, 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 beep.
Maybe that'll help.
How did I mess that up so badly?
That's fine. I didn't get it in the.
Oh, Dreams got a hole in 1 too. Dang it. Didn't help. I tried. Rain, come on, Rain.
I'm feeling the music in this non-alcoholic beer. It's great.
Yeah.
Question is, do I want to risk that donut?
No.
Nah.
Oh no! We don't do this.
Hey.
We don't do this.
So how many of y'all have to work in the morning?
Me.
One with me, thankfully.
Ooh,
I did my 12
mighty
today.
close.
Yeah, I was wondering if you were gonna make it tonight, Shane. I thought maybe you had to work. I was like, I
I
don't
almost
know.
had a hole in 1
No,
without the donut.
He's partying with us tonight.
Thank goodness.
Partying.
Pub crawl.
P-A-R-T-Y? Cause
You
I
know,
got
honestly,
it.
just take pictures of him right now. He'll
Agreed.
remember it in 2024.
We're just
Take a screenshot.
Your life is gonna be delayed.
Yeah, it sucks. My bad.
Well,
Good
sorry, I
Parker.
do like the hour of, before, New Year's.
Mr. Splints. Aim for the red gumdrop on your right if you're in the starting position.
The what? The red one? I go for the blue one. Jolly Rancher.
Jump! Oh.
Yeah, I just aim for the far side where the freaking.
Oh wow, fancy
There
jumping.
we go.
Good job, Splints. You did a good job, Ella. Fancy jumping.
Now here, I'm just gonna
Who the
bypass
fuck
all
is
that.
in his underpants play early?
I heard was in his underpants. That's all I heard. I was like, what?
I messed up.
Oh
So I was
Oh,
questioning who was in.
no,
his
I'm
underpants
questioning the
playing.
jersey because they won by tech. Yeah.
There you go. Not too bad. Birdie.
No, this he
Oh,
has
now I
very
see it.
short shorts on.
Who likes short shorts?
We got
Oh,
us
they
a
look
job,
like underpants.
boys.
The underpants? Oh no.
I just hate his what?
Who is
Sorry,
that?
the jerseys.
No, who is
No,
that?
the guy who's gonna get
Who is the guy
all in
singing?
one.
Post Malone or whatever.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Mhm.
If it's in
Good
his
job, Splinty.
I don't know faces.
No.
So.
Happy New Year! Thank you, Nick Dottie. Hope you're doing good. Happy New Year to you too.
Well, I tried.
We got a little bit. It's getting closer.
Should be pretty easy from
Oh.
here. If you don't
Oh,
understand it,
God.
a little bit less. Like maybe a quarter of a bar
And-
less. That corner though. Yeah, there you
I
go.
thought it was something else for show and tell.
Yeah, that happened, didn't it?
I mean, you can show and tell if you'd like.
Well, yeah, it's not on Twitch, so it's good.
No, I have my
Damn,
own
that's huge.
personal
Oh,
elf
sorry.
on the shelf now.
Oh.
One of my
Cute.
coworkers made this.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't know how she got the time to do this, but one of my coworkers made everybody their own little elf.
Oh, that's cool.
Not hard enough.
Did anybody see the video where somebody put the elf on the shelf in the oven and forgot and then turned on the oven so the kids got to witness the elf on the shelf on fire?
I didn't see that, but it's
It's just like ashes and, you know, can't use the fire extinguisher to put it out. It's bad.
The
Yeah.
ashes of an elf
You
hat.
got a little toasty.
Oh no.
A little bit.
Well, I've also seen the one where Santa's a cannibal.
Oh no.
Yeah, there was nothing
Oh,
left
yeah.
but bones.
It's just the skeleton. Mhm.
Yeah, just bones.
Is that what I was supposed to do?
Go through the donut. Almost full yeet.
Ye-
No,
ye-
you
I
can
think
do full yeet, just roll you
I'm just gonna
backwards.
point this out now. After this game, I'm probably gonna go and shoot off.
No.
It's pretty late. It's 4:20 so.
Mm,
40 minutes, it'll be our New Year's.
Fuck.
You can do what you need to do, though. I'm not gonna keep you up.
2 1/4.
Right, like this is a good moment of just Times Square. You know, it's
2
like a
1/4
typical
straight
thing for
across.
the East Coast.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no, I didn't make it.
Honestly, though, I might actually dip after this too. I need to find something else to eat.
Go find food.
Nourishment and
Oh, that was so close.
Oh, what? I was supposed to kiss you at noon. Noon.
Yeah, and at midnight. All the midnight kisses.
No.
Well, no, that means that means nothing to me.
It's just air kisses.
Well, it's
I'm gonna
actually a
kiss my
Pokemon
beer.
Actually, now, given the DLC it's out, it's actually a Pokemon reference that Mona doesn't get. Because she hasn't.
What is it? What are you talking
No,
about?
no, she's growing up. She's
Doing
growing
this.
up. Yeah.
Oh.
Not another one of these fucking ones.
I already thought I got it.
Meow.
Anyways,
Traffic jam, and I got yeeted.
life.
That's the die, but I'm not complaining. That might set me up better, actually.
No, I jumped too far. Jump out of the hole. Oh yay.
Sorry, my brain don't work.
I survived.
Can one of y'all fucking hit me?
Oh, whoa.
Yeah,
Wow.
before.
Nope, I'm out.
Can you just hit me?
I am a gentleman, sir.
Thank you. I didn't want to waste the tap. I really didn't want to waste the tap. It's so close.
Like, great. There, maybe? Nope, too far. Always miss that slide. Always mess with that.
Oh, I didn't realize I was going to
That's
get
trick.
the slide.
If you hit the far to roll, if you hit the far fence post on the inside right,
No!
you kind of have to skirt it,
A lot
but
of
it
obvious
should
shooting
bounce you back
commercials.
into the slide.
Feet hurt.
No pressure.
And then we whip. 40 minutes till. Or 38 minutes
Till we
till.
realize we just
Till
exploded.
Happy New Year's time. Getting close. As we wait on Splints.
Michigan,
Splint, shut up, son.
Michigan, we went through this in Y2K and we went through this in 2012. It's not gonna happen in New Year's.
What?
Well, the way you're wearing that hat, then maybe. Sorry. I'm just trying to have fun, you know. Got one.
What the hell?
We got 45 seconds to make it happen if you want to try.
Splits, go!
You hit the brown slide, man. You're fucking. You won.
Hit the fudge.
True.
Yeah, there you go, there you go. Don't do anything, don't do anything.
Don't jump, don't jump, don't jump.
Yeah.
Don't do anything. Just go.
Did it.
Whee!
Perfect.
You did it.
Out of here.
Remember that for next time.
Waiting for the ball to drop.
For this one, I fucked up on so many occasions.
Well, then only time I'm getting a hole in one.
Every time.
And this one.
Dang it.
There it is.
I did like 3.5 each towards the ramp on the right.
I did 3 1/4 just now and hit the
Ah!
fence.
Three.
Knocked it in.
Counted as 2. My jump
Come on,
counted
come
as not a jump.
Oh, thank fuck for that.
I didn't mean to jump there. Dang it.
Yeah, I got a birdie.
Fuck.
Go, go.
Jump, jump, jump. Jump,
Oh,
jump.
too late.
Coming.
Too late.
That's you.
It's the delay.
Oh, you win. You win.
There we
Do
go.
not jump
Thank
after you
God.
cross over that fence again.
We got a budgie.
Let's see.
Whee!
Meow.
Oops, that was a little late.
Oh no, 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 not enough.
Oh, no, yeah.
Oh, fuck
Don't go
off.
out, don't go out.
What?
Oh god.
Oh,
There it is, but oh, it's too
jumped
much.
over the thingamajig.
Eh. Right at the edge. Shoo! Yeah, I'll take 8 strokes after that. I know it could have been better, but oh well.
Splints touched grass. We have proof. He touched grass. So it counts, right? He went outside, right? That counts.
No.
In the bridge.
Eight strokes.
Oh, you were so close to 69 splints.
Same as me.
Mm-hmm.
Whoa.
Are you serious? Right now?
Yep. Hold
Yeah.
on.
No! Wrong amount.
3 1/4. Right down the middle.
This one fucks with me so much.
I haven't heard this song in ever.
I got me one of them hoeing Unos.
See if you can use the back wall.
Actually, I
to
just
get up
wrote
the hill.
it, so I don't know how they got it.
Wild Garchomp
Thank
appeared.
goodness.
Winners revealed in 90
I
seconds.
knew who she was. It's
That's the
Parker's
wrong
way back at the
direction.
beginning. Parker, it's 3 from
she's
there.
a British.
He can't hear. It's delayed.
Damn it.
Oh, yeah.
Fine.
Okay, my bad.
You can
That's,
text him in the text chat. Hi, Yellow.
Yeah, I don't think he's.
Damn it.
Yeah. You can give
Keep
to
trying
to
that.
you. Yeah. Happy New Year. Almost here. We have
Are
30
you
more
serious?
minutes till the
I
New
wanna
Year.
die. Can we stop doing this? Let's go.
But yes, hope you enjoy all the
Yeah,
emotes.
No more strokes.
I'll probably swap the EVs out in a couple days for something else since they're all Christmas related. But you guys will just have to wait and see. Probably more Pokemons.
Whee!
Speaking of Pokemons, I'm very close to completing my decks in
Yeah.
Scarlet Violet. I've
Hell
completed
yeah.
the decks in. I've completed the decks in both parts of the DLC, and I've only got like 3 legendary Pokemon in the base game that are a pain in the butt to find.
Are you gonna work on a shiny dex afterwards? I see people catching so many shinies like it's easy or something.
Well, it hadn't been super easy for me because I only found 1 shiny, I think, so far in Scarlet and Violet.
Dang. What was it? Azzy keeps posting all the shinies. He's got like what 6 or something now.
Yeah.
Parker's having a mare.
Not much better. I'm just gonna go the traditional route.
I have not heard that comment before. I've heard having a cow, but not a mare.
Can you not? Come over here.
No, it doesn't work. Oh.
Kitty!
I have a puzzle going over here, and she keeps jumping on it.
Alright.
That's That's why you cleaned off all the desk space. I was wondering what you were gonna work on.
Especially that, and it was driving me
Swimming. Splints, you're stuck on the pipe.
It's
Well-
2025 for me. I'm gonna skip all 2024. 'cause
You
I
gotta
did-
go to the right, Splints. Go to the
I
right.
want to say that's a Mario and Luigi
Absolutely
reference,
to the
but then
right.
that'd be a
Yeah,
flop.
let's go. Hold on.
Parker took the pipes. I've never taken the pipes.
So do you know you don't have to do that? Like, you could just go straight to the right.
There you go. Yeah,
That's
you
what
can
she
just
said.
jump right. Not even that strong, like 2 yeets.
I don't care at this point.
That's fair.
He's like, I'm trying to get to the dang ramp.
Puzzles, get out of there.
No, ran out of time.
No. I'm watching you, Dreams. I'm watching you.
Oh, here we go. Watch out, everybody.
Well, that went horribly
You
wrong.
could end up in the other
Oh!
tank.
Oh, you
The
fucker.
other thing.
Messed up too. Don't feel
I
bad.
didn't. It's a full yeet on the
Okay.
left.
Which one? You didn't mess up.
It could have.
I did.
I'll take a double
I said I
bogey.
didn't. It was a full yeet on the left.
Yeah, I went to the grass.
You got a hole in 1.
No, I
No,
didn't.
did.
I just got a double bogey.
No,
I got the
I went in the grass.
No, that means you're doing better than the rest.
I touch grass.
But the green is moss.
Well, there's a lot of
Thank you.
stuff.
See. Pew. Let's go.
Sorry, I'm just thankful for the year and then next year and all that stuff.
Yep. I'm just waiting on everybody to stop bouncing around. Looks like Tank needs to go first. I don't want to hit Tank, and then I gotta go get out of Shane's way.
Yeah, that's what her name is, Rita or yeah.
I don't know who she is.
Well, yeah, she's
No.
English singer, I guess. I don't know.
Ay, ay, ay.
No idea.
What would I know her from?
Music.
Huh.
How did they get married? He must have a lot of money. I mean,
Who? Ryan Seacrest?
no. What's behind? Because these guys just got married, but
Oh,
you know, this guy had a lot of money. I'm just saying.
probably. Wouldn't doubt it.
It's gonna be up there.
They're in New York.
Are you serious?
Yeah, he's a good
Well,
singer.
I mean, that coat, too. He paid for it, for sure.
Oh shit, it's way
No,
more than
yeah,
that.
he has a lot of money. I can.
See?
I was about to see how tall are these guys, and I realized they're on the.
Yeah, I just want a cat. She's super chill.
Why would you give away a good cat? That makes no logical sense.
Because I'm tired of holding her, but she's so happy.
Well, let her have her happiness. Or you
Oh, Cool J is next.
No.
Somebody tried to save me and it didn't work.
Yeah. Ay, ay, ay.
I don't ever remember this many commercials.
Fuck, I was
but
only
guess
I was level par with Kimono and I'm fucking 2 behind again.
Go
No.
this way. Oh no.
You were doing so good.
aim for the candy.
I was getting really nervous.
Onto a little.
That's why you were nervous?
This way. Oh no.
Yeah,
There you
I was
go.
getting really nervous there.
Oh no, in the water.
Speeds?
With this
Go
skid,
Speeds. Oh, that's way too far.
Actually, at a lower elevation.
Yeah.
Oh no. Maybe this way.
Nope, it's in front of
Nope.
you.
Yeah, it's in front of you, but just not that
Yes.
far.
It's definitely this way. Oh, nope.
3 strokes left.
Oh no.
But not enough
Supposed to
time.
do- Look.
Out of time. Next. One more course. Oh god.
Oh, yeah.
I always messed this one up.
One more shot.
Dreams is gonna kick my butt.
Oh, I messed up.
I got
already
the lower
had it,
path.
and I messed up. That's
Oh
upsetting.
no!
Here's
I
what you
already
get,
had
right?
it. I already had it, and I upset myself.
Steve Dreams is back.
Yeah.
Come on. Just tap it on in.
This is like the Super Bowl with commercials.
Yeah.
Like a gamble.
Oh, Jesus. Fuck, dude. God damn it.
Nope.
Fuck.
You just kind of go. Wait, hold on.
Just wait a
I
Just
second.
kind of go.
Just wait.
Yeah, it works out.
Sorry, Tank. I didn't mean to hit you. You just kind of landed right in
No.
No, I actually think I hit you. I got hit by a gobstopper.
You
No,
could have been a.
no, I legitimately hit you before the gobstopper hit you. But
Gobstoppers?
it was
So.
because you were like right on the outside of my little like square, my little hit box.
I do like the numbers in the top right-hand corner though. Now I love that
Yes,
you can
that's very
see
helpful
that.
to us.
I will take 7 strokes after that, miss.
Since when was Steve Harvey a fucking judge?
He
What do you
shouldn't
mean?
be.
They just so judge Steve Harvey.
Steve Harvey was a judge in like the Family Matters or whatever. I don't know. Oh no! Come back. I made it in.
Welcome back. Fucking 5 beneath you. Fucking hell.
Aye,
that's
aye, aye. Alright, well, I don't think we have another time for another round before the ball drops.
No,
so I
we
think
don't.
that's
Yeah, it's
it.
36. Yeah, 36.
Yeah, I think
It's
that's it.
36.
20 minutes.
Right.
So.
It's 36.
Yeah. Yeah.
On that note, I'm gonna disappear. I wish you a fucking incredible new year
Bye.
when it
Thank
comes
you.
round.
Thank
Well,
you.
how
thank
is
you.
24? How is 24? Is it better? I don't know. Like,
I mean, it feels like 23, but I mean, 24 is, you know, it's
I can
another
stick around
digit,
a
you
bit
know.
longer.
Does it smell a
another
little
year, another
fresher?
me, I guess.
A little more alive?
Anyways, I
It's not sunny, so I can't say. I can't tell.
Anyways, I do hope you well in this next journey in life and all this stuff. So,
Likewise.
Happy
All the
New
best
Year
to
to
you.
you.
You have
Bye,
fun,
James.
take it easy, and I hope you celebrate it well.
yeah,
Thank you.
will do.
Peace out. Have fun. Bye bye.
Bye.
Laters.
So 20 minutes. I wonder if there's a
I was
ball
gonna say,
drop.
lady, you need to get to
Didn't
bed.
we get
It's
Twitch
gonna be at
safe
midnight.
ball drop? I think somewhere. I don't remember.
I just have
New
baby.
York,
No,
Times
the
Square.
ABCs. Yeah, I have ABCs.
See, Twitch used to literally have one that you could tap into.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I got the New York because obviously
I've done it like
it's-
2 or 3 times. I just don't remember where it's at.
Actually, I'm on crash
Not
too.
on there.
Oh, LL Cool. Oh, sorry. LA Kool-Aid. Cool J. I say Kool-Aid.
Well, at least it's no Cujo. But dog's a freaking nightmare.
Wait. There's a New Year's reset on Talia.
No. I'm looking.
I see only 3 players.
I don't-
Yeah, I left.
Yep.
Let's see.
Watching stream. All the free publicity these guys get is set up.
Yeah. Either or, got 40. Let's just think about tomorrow and not, the next. Well, this guy's been famous for a long time, so it doesn't.
Doesn't
It's not
deserve
getting
it.
anything different.
It's just it's probably only because he's one of the few left.
Not.
Besides Eminem, who's too controversial.
Okay. Let's not talk about controversy right now, please.
Really?
Right now.
That's a shame.
We're live right now, so.
Yeah. I knew that.
Hi, Keith. Welcome. You're more than welcome to join us and hang out. We got 20 minutes till Happy New Year here.
Yeah, East Coast, West Coast.
So glad to have golf back though, and working properly.
It's always
Yeah,
good to hear that.
I can imagine. Let's see, trying to find where to watch ball drop online. It's Twitch safe, but I'm not having any luck looking it up yet. So
Hey,
if you
no
guys
worries,
know,
no
let
worries.
me know.
Yeah, it's just.
Yama.
I do love. I
Poketch.
do. I do love this time though because spirits are always high, and then to every you seeing this the other person that's on the stream of mine.
It's not me.
I'm not really.
I know, not you.
I mean, I can
was
watch it
trying to be-
silently, but that's
was
not
trying
fair to
to be
everybody
PG.
else. Cause
I was being PG.
boy, I'm
I
ready for
know
bed.
he was in too.
I feel old.
You saw, you had to.
Sweet.
Yeah.
I was being PG.
Boy. Let me look. Let's see.
$19.99? Oh, wait a minute. Don't call it a comeback.
Let's here to maybe my email. Seems like they used to email us the countdown thing. No, not this year.
Interesting. Maybe they're not doing it this year.
Maybe not. It's kind of cool though. It was kind of janky, but it was better than nothing. It was kind of cool. I just got golf music playing on repeat. I need to change that. I'm gonna at least change it since it's some different music.
Yeah, it sucks that nobody else can experience it. What we're doing.
Oh.
Oh,
That
they
too.
can.
I'm just.
They can on their own, but yeah, I have to be Twitch friendly.
Well, I know. That's why.
Let's see.
Man, he's actually sweating from all that.
I would probably sweat, knowing how old I get.
I mean, given what everyone else on his crew was doing, I'm surprised he's sweating.
Dude, this guy's like 220 muscle.
Yeah. And he wasn't doing nearly as much either, though.
I did catch the Pokemon.
Muscle makes you like. I'm a furnace too. I'm not saying I'm as tough as him. I'm just saying, muscle. Yeah, it's a furnace.
You know what all that was? His jacket.
Yeah.
just fun. There. Kinda late now. I probably could have did just a countdown because I think I used to have a countdown for this. I did. It was called a timer event.
45. 11:45. You got like 15 minutes. How much you want to bet this commercial break will take at least 10 of that? I don't know. Last one will take something about 5 minutes.
I'd play it. Turn that down a little bit. There's so many fireworks going off everywhere.
I don't hear any in my neighborhood, so it's nice.
It's loud here. Been going off since it was not even dark.
I should have saved them. Of course, they probably also don't want to get caught with them.
Depends on where you're at.
Yeah. Here, I don't think they chase anybody down with them. 'Cause,
They don't know where
and they shoot off the big ones like that, you know?
Yeah. Usually that's done by the fire department here.
Yep.
Or
Well,
someone
it's done
with
by
a
a
permit.
service here, and the fire department's on hand. Yeah.
Firecrackers, however, are perfectly fine.
Actually, I don't even think you're allowed
Even
to have
the big-
those here, but we do. Everybody does it.
Yeah. I know sparklers are also legal.
Yeah, the only thing they're really supposed to do is like sparklers and fizzy things from the ground. That's it.
I also know they can't spin.
Weird.
Yeah, you can't get the pinwheel kind
Oh, weird.
anymore, unfortunately,
don't have
because they would fly off. But you could totally get the smaller ones that are firecracker and sparkler related or smoke related. And some of those, they get pretty creative. But yeah, Roman candles, they're not really supposed to have those purchasable here. Oh
I
man,
think you'll
not
have
this
nothing
weather,
but
thank you.
commercials on the New Year's drop down thing, don't you?
It's been how many now? 5?
Yeah, well, they gotta play the local commercials now, so we won't talk about those.
Yeah, there you go.
2024 Ryan Seacrest.
Hanging out with the police. Did you notice?
Yes, what's
Cool. Well, it's security, obviously.
New York Police Department is what it said on the shirt.
Yeah, but they were talking
Supposed
to the
blue.
New York Police Department at the same time.
9 minutes?
There they are.
Yeah, see. They made them stand there. in here. We want to talk about you. 9 minutes, stream chat. 9 minutes.
9 minutes?
You're watching where you're watching from. 9 minutes.
Now we have to go back to Hollywood because that's 3 hours behind us. That makes sense. Got 3 more hours of. I'm actually from the West Coast. So.
I don't even think I could stay up till midnight. Like,
No,
It's
no,
like 10
I can't
minutes
either.
away here.
yeah, but it's another hour.
Yeah, that's central. Yeah. And then Mountain, and then what,
Yeah, and if you gotta work tomorrow, you probably don't want to be.
Yeah, I'd go to bed if I were you.
Yeah,
Night
I'm also
rain.
getting moody. I'm not going to bed right now.
Moody. Well, I thought that was your normal thing.
No, I'm even moodier than normal.
Ah, okay. I couldn't tell the difference.
Would that be the alcohol?
Nope.
I
I'm
honestly couldn't tell the
overstimulated.
difference. So.
Me neither. Nothing
Because I'm
personal to you. It's
no,
just
no. I'm keeping myself in check.
yeah.
Me too.
It's
Actually.
literally just because I'm overstimulated.
She needs a break.
I know. I know the drugs. It was a joke because I always say drugs. Anyways, it's about next year, and I hope everybody accomplishes what they want next year and all that.
Me too.
I'm trying to accomplish, and everybody else is too, and the whole thing.
I'm not exactly sure what all my goals are yet.
Yeah, it's about reflecting
I'm
about your goals.
undecided. Yeah.
It's not about, oh, I'm gonna make some unreasonable goal. No, it's about trying to get a sustainable goal. You know, and as long as, hey, okay, I'm gonna walk 1 mile. You know, it's it. Like, you don't have to have the biggest goal in the world.
Definitely need to work on exercising, but I really don't want to.
So like me, like for example, I'm 100% out of shape, and you know, suffers.
I gotta figure out how to make it fun or something.
The thing is, it's more, there's a
The
lot
thing
of
that
things,
would
I
make
guess.
it fun for me is the food. But if you're trying to lose weight, that's not really an option.
I don't know if you can use routes for yours, but I mean, Pokemon Go now has routes.
Pokemon Go at Sprouts.
Routes. Like they
Oh,
people
routes,
walk 'em
yeah.
from like
Yeah,
one Pokestop
yeah.
to another.
Yeah, we have those too.
Yeah, I wasn't sure if you guys were populated enough or not.
I think as long as you're a certain level, you can make your own. That's how it works here.
Yeah.
So I could make my own, even. I just don't.
Yeah.
I think there's
You could always-
ones already existing in the usual areas I would go anyway, so
Yeah.
I have to.
So you could always just use one of those.
Yeah, replace them with
See, gives you some motivation to go on walks.
when
and
it's
stuff.
sunny and not freezing and not dark out.
Yeah.
Because it's just a picky. It's like,
Speaking of which, we got your snow.
Snow. 5 minutes, guys. 5 minutes. I decided now's a good time to touch up my fingernails by week.
Hey, yeah, it will grow next year. Yeah.
I'll have perfect fingernails in the new year. Just had a couple bad spots that needed fixed.
Oh, I'll DM you next year.
Okay, you'll DM me next year. Sounds like a plan. Same place, same time?
No, not
Or
same.
same place, different time.
Yeah.
Ooh. Man.
So we can work on updating a few stream games real quick.
Dude, you got exactly 3 minutes.
Yeah. Let's see. Dashboard.
Hold on, where's my cat? No, she's like, screw you.
Let's see.
Oh boy.
It's like, I'm just gonna hug my beard, I guess.
No, it'll be so cold though.
No, my cat's sleeping, so I can't hug her.
Could go for a pillow.
Manage rewards. You can take off
I'm gonna hug my pillow.
the Christmas rewards. Tiny Christmas hat. Goodbye. Reindeer antlers. Goodbye. Pink Santa hat. Goodbye.
No.
They're all gone. Stats.
Till next year.
3 minutes in East Coast. Oh, they just showed up like this? No, they didn't.
Oh jeez. I think one of them's wearing cleavage.
Wearing cleavage or has cleavage?
I'm not sure which one of them, but I think one of them is wearing underwear.
Well.
If not both.
Drugs.
It's not. It's supposed to be. It's a dress designed that way.
To be fair, it's been warm lately.
To be fair, it's really not that bad.
Yeah, it's
In
not
New
that
York?
warm. It's not that cold.
It's really not that cold out there.
This guy's probably from
Not,
California.
not talking about here.
God. Everybody, this is
It's not that cold.
2 minutes.
Every-
Ball drops.
yeah. Every year I watch it, and every year I'm like, wow. I will be here next year, guys. Like tomorrow.
I'll still be in this chat tomorrow.
Yeah, well, we will be technically. Anyways, all jokes aside, and I hope everybody.
Cheers and Happy New Year's.
I hope everybody has a great year, and all jokes aside and all that, and everybody in chat, everybody, it's like the journey will always continue. You have to realize.
Well, let's count down. 53, 52. Oh, wait until it gets to 10, and then we'll do a countdown. Here we go. It's gonna be
30 seconds.
30 seconds. 25, 24, 23, 22, 20.
19, 18. I want to wait till 10, but
14,
they're already shooting off fireworks. That's preemptive, darn it.
10,
9,
9,
8,
8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Happy New
Year!
And cheers, guys! Cheers!
Yee! I don't have a drink, darn it.
I have like a sip of one.
Happy New Year's, chat.
Ooh.
Happy New Year's, Discord. Desi, Happy New Year's from the East Coast. Yeah! East Coast, Happy New Year's!
East Coast. That's why East Coast is best coast, because it comes first. Whoa.
Oh.
Technically speaking, you're right. We are in
I
the
know,
future.
exactly. I'm always right.
Yeah, Happy New Year!
No, you're not.
Happy New Year! Guys, Keith says Happy New Year's. Nick Dothy says Happy New Year's. Destiny says Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's.
Happy New Year's, everybody. Yep.
Happy New Year.
Now you cannot go to sleep for another hour because of all the noise outside.
And we have to do Central Time, and then we have to do Mountain Time, and then we have to do Western Time.
Yeah, if you guys want to do that, you can more than welcome to do that in Discord. we're gonna like stream will be over in a few minutes, but you guys are more than welcome to hang out in Discord with whoever you wish.
You passed out while continue the party.
And we still have Michigan, who's willing to go through all the time zones all the way to Hawaii tonight. So guys, you know,
No, I'm dreaming. Hold on, I'm dreaming about surfing in Hawaii. It doesn't mean I have to be in the same time zone. There's a whole other place.
Oh, I thought you said you were gonna welcome in the New Year in each time zone for the U.S.
Yeah, I want to surf there, but not.
Ah, I misunderstood that.
I wouldn't want to surf on the East Coast at all. Too many rocks.
Bam.
Yeah. I can't imagine what they do with all that confetti all over the streets. It has to be a hot mess to clean up the next day.
It's like I work on this street, and now I have to. It's like, come on,
That's
I
why
work
they
here.
have sweepers. You can imagine what it's like taking down those stages,
Happy New
though.
Year's, East Coast, Central.
Hell.
And New Zealand, I know
They
it's
have
probably.
to take them down same day.
And New Zealand, is anybody from New Zealand? Because I know you guys are like
First.
8 months.
No.
Something like that. Yeah.
No.
No, they're up. They're like
Pretty
they are.
Sure, like right
Oh.
around Japan's the first.
New Zealand, I guess that's right in that line. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. But I think New Zealand and Japan kind of line up, so.
No.
Maybe. Australia's right there. Maybe they're not. Oh yeah, it's in from Japan.
No.
Because Australia's like vertical, not horizontal.
Well, yeah, New Zealand's pretty much right there, but New Zealand's second to some nation, I don't know.
But yes. Thank you guys for lurking and listening. Happy New Year's. I will catch you.
Yeah.
It's January. Jeez, where did the time go?
Yeah.
I'll catch you next year.
Yeah, I'll see you next year. No, it is next year now. So
Time to
you
your
guys
old
have a
man
good
with your
night.
own.
I appreciate you all. Thank you for all your support in 2023. Thank you for being here, lurking, listening. It means the world to me, and I can't wait to, begin 2024 with you guys. Thank you all. Say good night, everyone. Let's see.
Any New Year's resolutions? I know Rain doesn't have any.
I have
Good night,
no
About
plans
you,
for
Mono?
it. It's useless.
I don't think this commercial's up to date anymore.